Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very last guest today is this incredible actress known by the name of Shannon McDermott. So I'm about to give Shannon an ad into the live now and have a chat with Shannon about her previous roles in Domino, this fan series called Domino, and she played the role of Tripoid Mary. Gosh, that's a hard name to say, but yes, Tripoid Mary. So I'm about to give Shannon an ad into the live now and have a chat with Shannon. Here we go. Hello, Shannon. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Uh,
Thanks for letting me be a part of your show.
you're very welcome. Thank you for joining my show, actually, by the way. So with my very first, so with the very first introduction, if you can, if you to people that don't know who you are, Shannon, if you can give a bit of info about what you do as a person, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, great. So I'm Shannon McDermott. I'm based in New York City. I am an actor, cosplayer, writer, singer. Yep,
Awesome.
all the slashes.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now. With my very first question, you were actually in this incredible series called Domino, and you played the role of Tripoid Mary.
Yep.
What was that whole experience like, getting to play the role of Tripoid Mary in Domino?
Yeah, so Typhoid Mary is one of my favorite Marvel characters. She's a villain more on the anti-hero side. Her defining characteristic is she has dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. And, it was really fun to play her. And, as someone who's neurodivergent as well, I don't have DID, but it was interesting to be able to like apply some of my own tics and mannerisms into the character and, really let her open up like that and apply her to myself.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What was your favorite memorable moment or scene to shoot for with the role of Tripoid Mary?
Yeah, so whenever she first comes out and she's singing Lucky Star by Madonna, um, that was just fun because that is where I was able to put the full force of her personality and mannerisms in. And there is that one moment whenever when I say starlight, star bright, and I like frame my crotch, that just came out of nowhere. That was completely improvised, unplanned, and the director was just like, yes, that's the scene that we're going to use.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. You were actually also in this other incredible series called Haunted City as the role of Phantom Celesta. What
Yep.
was that whole experience like, getting to play the role of Phantom Celesta in Haunted City?
Yeah, so Phantom Celesta, um, she is a ongoing character in the Blinky Productions comic universe. So she's part of a race of phantoms who kind of live in a different dimension, but help influence events and in the human world. And yeah, it's awesome to be able to play such an ethereal character. The director describes her as the Loki of the Blinky cinematic universe. Loki is also another favorite of mine in the Marvel universe. I'm just all about like the anti-heroes, villains.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What was your favorite memorable moment or scene to shoot with the role of Phantom Celeste?
Yeah, so she was in the second episode of Haunted City, which also won Best Horror Series at the Cannes Subsidiary Festival, the Côte d'Azur Webfest. So she was in the second episode, and she's there to essentially fuck with a child serial murderer, right? And there have been many times where I've been watching a TV show where, a child serial murderer character comes up, and so many times where I've been like, oh, I just want to fuck them up. I just want to fuck with them, fuck them. And in this scene, I got to fuck them up.
Awesome. So with my very next question, because like, oh man, I have to say, like, first up, Haunted City, your role as Phantom Celeste was incredible, by the way. Really, really incredible. So
Thank
I
you.
applaud you on your incredible work with that role. With my very next question, you're actually in the Redcon Chronicles as the role of Sarah back in 2014. What was that whole experience like, getting to play Sarah?
Yeah. So, funny thing. Sarah is actually supposed to be Celista in disguise. Um, we had planned for the Retcon Chronicles to be a further, like a serial web series, but lost funding, unfortunately. So we couldn't go past the first episode. So if you noticed at the end of the first episode, Celista kind of makes her appearance in manipulating Madeline Hess, who's the CEO of a scientific research company. So the idea was that Sarah was supposed to be Celista in disguise, and it would later be revealed that she had been manipulating everyone behind the scenes.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. If the Redcon Chronicles could have got like more episodes, what would you have wanted out of your role as Sarah in the Redcon Chronicles?
Well, so the thing with Celista is that she has several moments where she's able to like switch in between phantom and human form. And I just really would have liked to have seen more of that, particularly. More, I would have liked to have seen all the heroes just be totally like confuzzled by the range and diversity of this phantom and which characters they're able to slip in and out of.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. You were actually in this incredible Spider-Man series
Yeah.
called Spider-Man and the Ballad of Mary Jane. And you played the role of Karen. What was that whole experience like, getting to be in the Spider-Man series?
So, I've worked in a lot of call centers and I've perfected my call center voice, and I've been told by clients and other people that I have the perfect like automated call center voice. I've actually had people call in and they would talk to me and respond to me as if I were an automated computer voice. So it was fun to be able to hear that like play back to me, be like, oh yeah, yeah, I get that. Also, another fun thing about Spider-Man Ballad of Mary Jane is that it garnered in between like 2 to 3 million views, right? So many views that we got a cease and desist order, which if you make fan films, you know that that's actually kind of a compliment. It means that the main studio has seen your stuff, and they're actually a little threatened by it because it's so good.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. You have actually also been in this other incredible series called Pretty Little Killers as the role of Marilyn. What was that whole experience like, getting to be in Pretty Little Killers?
Yeah, so Pretty Little Killers was about another character with dissociative identity disorder. However, what was different from this portrayal is that the film focused on all of the alters as the main characters. And so my character in Pretty Little Killers was the alter that was, more of like the protective big sister, the level-headed one, the really empathic one who, just who's more like diplomatic.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What was your favorite memorable scene or to shoot out of that incredible Pretty Little Light Killers?
So I would have to say the reveal where they've captured a serial rapist, right? And they're all standing before him, and you see them all together interacting, and he's just like, wait, who are you talking to? Just like, because he doesn't see that there's three people in the room. He only sees one person. And just to be able to, it's just another one of those things where it's like you see serial rapists on TV and you're like, I want to fuck with them. I got to fuck with them.
Awesome. Well, can I just say that was actually another really incredible series, Pretty Little Killers, and you were incredible in that. So, real applaud to you with that role. So, yeah. With my next question, who inspired you as a person to get into acting in the first place?
I would have to say my high school theater teacher. A lot of people would name like celebrities and actors they want to aspire to be, but I want to give a shout out to my high school educators. I had two wonderful high school theater teachers who really encouraged me to come out of my shell and believed in my talent and, wrote recommendation letters to universities for me when I wanted to major in theater. And I don't think I would be where I am today and have the same confidence in my ability and the same resilience that I do without them.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What have you learned about yourself as a person during COVID this year?
Oh my goodness. I would have to say I definitely am more productive when I'm able to just run and do things with my own time, create my own schedule. I have, like I said, I'm neurodivergent. Things can be massively overwhelming for me, and my energy can get drained like that. And oftentimes it's hard managing a regular job with your passions and your dreams and wanting to put art out there. And, you know, when I was furloughed, I've been furloughed since March. I work at an off-Broadway theater in the West Village called Cherry Lane Theater. I'm a house manager. And, whenever I was furloughed, all of a sudden I had all this time and I had more energy to devote to what I want to do.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. If you could be in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
Oh man. Of course, I would love to play Typhoid Mary in one of the mainstream studio Marvel movies. Um, but what I've always loved the impact of cult classics, and I've loved their fan bases. And, I'm a cult classic fan myself, like with Rocky Horror, Firefly, things like that. What I would really like to see happen is for the Blinky comedic universe to become um, a more mainstream thing and it already does have somewhat of a cult following, but I would love to see it be more mainstream.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What are the positives and negatives into the acting industry, and how do you get through those negatives as a person?
So positives are definitely being able to do what you're passionate about, um, figuring out a way to make it happen and connecting with people who are equally as passionate as you are. Some of the negatives have to be, the rejection that comes with it. And I'm not just talking about, a production team telling you that they don't want to hire you for a job as an actor. I'm talking about, some of the more well-meaning yet misguided comments you get from friends and family who, don't who love you but don't necessarily understand what it is that you do and may think that, you know, you're just doing a hobby and you need to find a real job, things like that.
Awesome. So on to my very last question, Shannon. So what's next for you, like after COVID wise with projects?
All right, so two big things coming up. I have just been cast in a web series called Sedition. I will be playing one of my favorite historical figures, Marie Antoinette, Queen of France, pre-French Revolution. And it's one of those roles where as an actor, you're just like, wow, I get to take on this major historical figure. It's a wet dream for me because I'm a amateur history buff, if you want to say that. I've always been interested in history, especially the French Revolution and the events leading up to it, and Marie Antoinette as a personality herself. Another project I'm working on, I have been writing a book during the COVID shutdown, and it's about so it's kind of like a tell-all about private flight attendants. I have a good friend who is a private flight attendant, and she was furloughed too, and she called me and she said, "Hey, do you want to write a book? I got some stories for you." So it basically reads as kind of like a shit-talking comedic monologue all about experiences of different private flight attendants and um, yeah, and some of their experiences with clients on flights.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Shannon, for making an appearance on my show. It really means a lot. To people that
Thank you so
haven't
much for
seen,
having me.
you're very welcome. To people that haven't seen Shannon's work in any of these previous projects that we just talked about today on the show, definitely go support Shannon's work. She's one truly incredible and one amazing inspirational actress. Definitely go follow her projects, her work. Any last final thoughts or anything that you would like to say to people on the show?
Um, yeah. You know, I, as a neurodivergent actress, I've had a lot of other neurodivergent people come up to me and, express that they've been interested in acting, but they don't feel that they fit in or there's not enough representation. And I just want to say that, that's changing. Always follow your dreams if you can. And we're working to create a more inclusive, diverse, not just physically or ethnically or racially, but more diverse neurologically as well.